Hey, 8th graders! I am here to talk to you today about the first belief system that we are going to look at other than Christianity in our discussion about evangelism. So the purpose of what we're doing this week is to think about what other people believe and then how that is similar and different from what Christians believe, because whenever you want to talk to them about faith, it's really important to think about what do they believe, because you're going to talk to people differently depending on what their belief system is, and approach them differently. So we're going to start with the one that's possibly one of the most difficult to have a conversation with someone with this belief, and that's because, like Christians, these type of people also have very strong beliefs, and they are opposite from the beliefs of Christians. So it tends to sometimes get into very heated conversation. And so we're going to be talking about atheism today. And I'm just going to give you a short introduction, and then you're going to watch a video that I think will help you to see what this looks like when people have conversation. So first of all, let's define what atheism is and what it isn't. That will help us. So you're going to get a little bit of an English lesson in the middle of Bible today. So the word atheism comes from three parts. So the A at the beginning is a prefix, which actually means no or not. It's an anti-prefix, so it's meaning no or not. And then the in the middle comes from the Greek word theos, which means God. Theos in Greek means God. And then you have ism at the end, which is a suffix, which means a belief or a doctrine. So you put that together, this is people who believe that there is no God. Right? So atheists believe that there is no God or no divine being that created the world and everything in it. Now, I do want to make a small point to notice a difference between this and agnosticism. So I put that down here at the bottom. Agnosticism has the same prefix and suffix, but the root is different. Notice the root here is gnosis. That Greek word means know, like as in I know or I don't know something. So in this case, if you put the negative before no, that means these people are people who are saying they don't know what to believe about God, whether there's a God or not, or how the universe started. We're not going to focus so much on those people right now, because those people are much easier to talk to. If they are saying they don't know, they might be questioning and really seeking, and it's easy to get into a conversation with them. So we're going to focus instead on the atheists, so people who believe there is no God. And they, people who get to the point of this belief, it could be for a lot of different reasons. So not all atheists are the same, and you should be careful to not put them all into the same category, because some atheists are atheists for very intellectual reasons. So they think a lot about the world and creation and science, and they will be very, very interested in talking about science, and they'll typically believe in things like evolution and the Big Bang Theory for how the world started and all of that. So they'll focus primarily on that. And so then you'll get into very intellectual conversations. But a lot of atheists are at that point because of more emotional reasons, because maybe they have gone through really intense suffering and they have a very hard time believing that there could be a God if there's so much suffering in the world. And so a conversation with someone who is an atheist because of that reason will look very different than a conversation with an atheist who's there because of intellectual reasons. So keep that in mind, because when you're talking to an atheist, you might end up in very different conversations. And you really should listen to them and what they have to say and why they believe what they believe. So what you are going to be doing today is watching a video, and this video is about this whole conversation between atheists and Christians about belief. And so they brought together 3 Christians and 3 atheists, and they put them in the same room and they started asking them questions. What do you believe about this? And they get into conversation. And so the point of having you showing you this video is for you to think about how the Christians in particular are responding to the atheists. So I want you to think about it in the context of evangelism. And if you're having a conversation with an atheist, what are things that you should do and what are things that you should not do? And learn that from watching these people. Okay? So let me show you your assignment and explain it, because you'll want to know that before watching the video, because it'll help you to do it as you watch. So this is what the assignment document looks like. And you're going to be watching the video, and while you're watching, you can fill things in on the chart or you can fill it in after you watch, either way. So there's 3 Christians, and their names are Jeremy, Peter, and Rissa. And you'll see they'll introduce them, but just to make it simpler for you, Jeremy is the older guy, and Peter is the younger guy, and then Rissa is the only female Christian. So for each of them, you're going to fill in things that they say and do, or what they do to show 3 different things. So first, it says attitude about his or her own beliefs. So as they're speaking, think about what is that person's attitude about their own belief. Are they strong in their belief? Are they questioning, or how do they feel about what they believe themselves? And then the second one is attitudes and actions towards the atheist. So how do they feel, and also how do they act towards the atheists that are there? And then finally, you're going to say impact on the atheist and or the other Christians. So the things that person says and does, how does that affect the other people in the room? Does it make people uncomfortable? Does it encourage them? Does it make them think? Like, how do their actions affect others in this conversation? And that's really the most important part, because that's going to help you think about what works and what doesn't work with evangelism. So then the last question at the bottom, after you watch the whole video, is what did you learn from this video about what Christians should or should not do when speaking to atheists about faith? So what are some things that you say, yeah, they did a good job with this, we should do that, or that was terrible, you should never do that when you're talking to an atheist? So write those things down at the bottom. So that's the assignment, and I hope you find the video interesting and also helpful when thinking about anytime you want to be talking about your faith to an atheist. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoy this assignment.